What did you think of the first time we heard the first playback of Calico?
Well, we had heard many playbacks before because we had recorded the album. So as we would record, we would play things back and we would hear things. But we recorded the album much like you record, or much like you would shoot a movie. All movies aren't shot in sequence.
Mm-hmm.
They're shot out of sequence. And Calico was the same situation. We recorded it completely out of sequence. We knew all the songs, we put them together, but they were cut all out of sequence. So when Kenny went back to do the orchestral stuff in Los Angeles, I stayed here in Nashville, and Claude Hill, the engineer at Glazer Brothers, where we did the recording, and I pieced together, we mixed the album, and we put it in the orders that we wanted it in. Now the album began to take form. It was like a movie being edited in its sequence, you know. None of the group had heard the album from beginning to end in sequence.
Mm-hmm.
None of the group had. It had all been out of sequence. So they were in their hotel at the Ramada Inn. I mixed, Claude and I mixed Calico, and I called the group over about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. I think it was something like that. They came over and, see you, Ricky. They came over and we sat down, and I remember that they had it was in quad. It was in quadraphonic, and for the first time we all sat down and listened to the Ballad of Calico from beginning to end. Obviously we didn't have the overture, we didn't have Calico Saturday Night, but the basis of the album was all there. All the vocals, guitars, drums, everything. And we just sat down and listened to it, and you know, there wasn't a sound in the place. There wasn't a sound. It was the most magical, emotional moment for the first edition, I think, that we ever had. We never felt anything like that. The group as a whole was never involved in a first edition album. I was the only one of the group that played on all the albums. I played on Just Drop the first albums. I played on every album that we had. But Kenny and Mickey never played on any of the albums. But Calico was the first edition. It was all the first edition. So it was a real special album, and that first playback, when we heard it in its order, the way it was supposed to be, it was as magical as anything we'd ever experienced. And we all experienced the individual songs, and it was just quite a night. The lights were low. We turned the lights down real low. It was in quad, and of course we had it just cranked. And it was beautiful. All the way to the end where Mickey did the wind, you know, with his and it was great. A real experience.
Thank you.